right. Well, I just want to start by thanking you both, Sean and Kevin, for taking the time to chat with us here at the Christian Beat all about the latest collaboration between the two of you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to start first. So Sean, it's called It Is Finished. Do you want to talk first about why you thought this would be such a good piece to have that collaboration between you and Kevin?
Oh yeah. Man. So first of all, I love Kevin's voice. When I started up this song with my friend and we were like, we just need someone that could like really just take it from here to up here. And we happened to be on Winter Jam at the time that we came up with this idea. And we were like, dude, what about Kevin? And then we were like, nah, he wouldn't do it. And then we were like, wait, do you think he would? And so we kind of like went back and forth. So we said, well, let's finish the song out and let's see what we could do it, and then we'll show him something cool. And I think aside from his super dope voice and just like that loud, like that crazy scream that he does there in the middle that just like shuts it all down. Outside of that, I just thought it was perfect with what disciple stands for, because disciple stands for life. God is not finished with you yet. And I remember that was my favorite moment actually of Disciples Winter Jam set, where Kevin would stand up on the box and he would go, God is not through with you yet, and he would like scream it and they would drop into their next song. And it was just so real. And their song Promise to Live, they're all about life and victory. And this song, It Is Finished, was about Christ giving his life so that we could see that victory, so that we could live our lives. And we're like, man, it's perfect. Not only does he sound great, but it's perfect with what they stand for. And at the end of the day, man, I'm just super thankful that they jumped on.
Oh, for sure, I'm sure. And Kevin, from your perspective, do you remember your first thoughts when Sean brought the track to you?
Well, the story of how the song, I even heard the song the first time, is my favorite part of this whole thing. So we're on Winter Jam, and I was trying to like catch the whole set and watch the other artists. And so I'm watching Sean's set, and he plays this song, and I'd seen him already like perform a couple of times, and he plays this song, and I didn't recognize it. It's totally new. And I, I was like, oh my gosh, this song is incredible. This song is awesome. And then I went and talked to him, and I was like, hey, what was that song? It Is Finished. What is that? And he said, oh yeah, it's a song I wrote last night. I said, you wrote a song last night and then performed it on Winter Jam? Yeah. I'm like, you know, no one has ever done that in the history of ever. I mean, like, I've never met an artist like him. Like that kind of talent is just unreal. So, Sean always had this moment in his set where he like raps really fast, and it was just like this highlight moments. And I would always get everybody. I was like, watch this, watch this, watch this. And so it was just an exciting performer. And then that song, and when he asked me to sing on it, I was like, oh, of course, love to. So we kind of just hit it off immediately once we met each other. Knew we wanted to do something together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm curious, with the collaboration, you obviously maybe have a different reach or a larger reach in some places than you would have had with just your own solo music. And I'm curious if you've been able to see any of that kind of stories come in, or where you're seeing some of the impact with maybe getting some new listeners to either side of you from having this collaboration together.
So we've had some really cool stories of, people kind of exactly, at least from my end, people that wouldn't typically listen to, like my other song like Jesus Will, people that may not listen to that. So somebody shot a friend of mine a video the other day of It Is Finished being played over the loudspeakers in a mechanic shop, and he's like, bro, isn't this the song that you guys wrote? And he's like, yeah. So it ended up on one of his buddies' playlists who likes rock, not necessarily Christian rock, just rock, who likes a couple of Disciple songs. And so when this Disciple song, you know, it kind of, from just liking rock, Disciple slipped into that playlist. And from liking Disciple, then this new collab slipped into that playlist. And he's not a Christian guy. The guy that was running the playlist, obviously, it's in a mechanic shop, so that, you know, it's some are Christian, some are not. But it was just this really cool kind of like, the song sounds so dope that Christian or not, like you're raising a fist to it and you're having a blast with it. So I thought that that was really unique, that someone who wouldn't listen to Christian music otherwise, you know, he didn't even know he was listening to Christian music. It just kind of stumbled into what he liked.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's so cool. Because
I love that.
yeah, that's just it's one of those genre things that you want to label it just one thing when it's so much more than that.
Yeah. And it's really too like, we kind of saw at Winter Jam, we're like, yeah, we do different kind of music, but we generally had like kind of the same kind of the same audience almost. When we were at Winter Jam, we were doing the meet and greet lines and stuff, and I would see people with Disciple CDs coming over, and then, you know, Josiah would tell me like, hey bro, yeah, someone came over and they were wearing your shirt. So, you know, there'd be like a lot of back and forth. And then me and Disciple were always like the last ones out of the arena at night, because, you know, we did the meet and greet line like forever. And so we ended up helping each other move equipment out and stuff like that. So it was just kind of like, you know, right from the start, like the crossover just kind of, it kind of it kind of happened on its own, you know. It was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And you've both mentioned the friendship and kind of coming together with the Winter Jam opportunity. Prior to that, had you had any opportunities to be around the same spaces at all, or was that really one of the first times that you both would have really met?
The only time I've been in Disciple, in the same space with Disciple prior to that, was if they were performing live and I was a fan. That was that was it.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was. I just walked up and introduced myself, I think right before he was about to play that night. And then watched him, and I was a fan instantly. I have a lot of respect for anybody that gets up there by themselves, because I'm in a band and I've got all these guys with me, you know, and so it's a lot. I guess you're a lot less afraid getting on stage, you know, with a whole bunch of people. But like by yourself, you know, I mean, I have anxiety when he walks up there by himself, you know, so uh just like, so I'm like watching, you know, pulling for him, and he crushed it. Just so
Oh,
good. So anyway, yeah, no, that's the first time I ever met him, and became a fan from the first moment.
that's awesome. Um, I guess the answer to would you do something again together is probably going to be a yes, but have you put any thought into what kind of what that could look like if you were to collab again?
That's up to him. I mean, I definitely, my guys are always wanting some kind of rap section on one of our songs, and so I bet if I asked Sean to come rap on a Disciple song, he might say yes. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how
absolutely.
much rapping he's doing these days, but
It
he's
doesn't.
really, really, really good at it.
No, well, I'll rap. I'll do a ballad. I'll do whatever you guys need me to, man. We'll
That's what
do
I
it.
mean. He can
Yeah.
do everything. Probably gonna come out with a country album next year. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, no, another collab, I would say 100% is be in the future. Absolutely. Um, I gotta just throw in there, and I don't know if this is one of the questions that you have on deck or not, but the friend that I started writing the song with, we were like huge Disciple fans, like, you know, like freaking out. So the day that Kevin came into the studio, we were so pumped. And, you know, we told him, hey, could you like maybe sing this part like this? And he's like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And then he just lets out this huge scream, and it was it was everyone in the recording section. We were just freaking out. We were like, oh my gosh, like we're watching the legend do his thing right now. And it was like this like he's just in the studio doing his thing, and we're all high-fiving in the recording room. We're like, oh, that was it. We were freaking out. So it was, yeah, it was a crazy moment, and we'll definitely have that moment again.
Oh, that cracks me up whenever when people do that in Nashville that don't usually work with rock artists, you know, and some guy comes in and screams, and they're not used to that because they're used to all these really professional and beautiful and awesome singers who belong on American Idol, which I do not. I do not belong there. That's not where I need to be. And so they hear that, so they're having that reaction. I have one funny story. I don't know if you know, Brown Bannister is famous for like Amy Grant and producing all kinds of whatever. We did a song with him one time, and it was the same thing. He asked me, he said, what are you using in there to produce that sound? I was like, what are you talking about? He said, do you have like a pedal or some kind of thing you're running your voice through to produce that? I said, no, I'm just standing in front of your microphone. He was like, there's no way that sound is coming out of you. Well, you're some kind of manipulation or some kind of thing you're doing. And I was like, no. And I just laughed at him. I was like, here's this famous Nashville producer, Amy Grant, and everybody else, and he's asking me how I'm producing that sound. He just never heard anybody do that before. So it's so funny.
Dude, it's such a real thing, man. That's your superpower. Like as of right now, my most memorable vocal booth experience is not even me singing. It's watching you sing and scream in front of us in the booth for the first time. It was like that was it.
That's funny. That's so funny.
You also, Sean, you had mentioned a little bit about the meaning behind the track and kind of what It Is Finished stood for. Has there been any change for you, you know, as you obviously sang it apparently the night after you wrote it, but you've been around it a little bit longer than that at this point. So has the song, you know, changed or deepened in meaning as you've been able to do it live more and more and then do this collab?
Man, I think the meaning always was supposed to be deep. You know, it always was supposed to be this nod to, you know, in the bridge it says, if we're not dead, then we're not done, and it just chants that. And it's really it has always been meant to be that deep. I think what's been beautiful to me as it's been out longer is to see the connection that something that meant a lot to me, I see that it means a lot to other people as well. I think that's what has really kind of deepened and given more weight to this song. You know, without this literally, like, without knowing the song back when I was performing it fresh and nobody had heard it and I had barely heard it 5 times, like people starting to catch on and chant along, if we're not dead, then we're not done. It's like, man, that's what you want there, that one liner that people can grab onto and believe in. So for me, it was more unreal to see, like, oh man, here's something that, you know, because as an artist, you pour your heart into everything, and you're like, man, I just believe there's so much passion, and that's what makes a good song. But then when you take that message and you see other people instantly coming on board with it, then it's like it just makes it mean that much more in a sense that, you know, that you wrote something that people can relate to and that people could hold on to and say, yeah, that's me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it's definitely one thing to be able to have your connection to it, but then to get to see everybody else's connection to it is always something deeper, like you mentioned. So that's awesome. Well, I know it doesn't have to do with the collab, but Kevin, since I do have you here, I do have to make sure congratulate you for the Grammy nomination. I do have to.
Thank you.
I'm just curious if at any point, I'm not saying you knew that Firm Foundation was going to get a Grammy nomination, but at what point did you have that something special with you realize that was something special?
Well, I mean, our whole thing of why we started Honor and Glory was just because we wanted to. No one asked us to. And for those that don't know what that is, it's Honor and Glory is our worship project. So it's all the same guys in Disciple, but a different band name where we do worship music. and we just wanted to do it. We treat it completely differently than Disciple. We don't perform. We just go up on stage and worship. We're not even paying attention to what anybody else is doing. And so it's something that we wanted to do. And so the whole Grammy thing was a complete accident. We did this song not because anybody was asking us to, because we just wanted to. I like the song "Firm Foundation." It's a Cody Carnes song, and one of the fun things that we get to do with this project is we get to take songs like we did "Battle Belongs" by Phil Wickham, and we kind of make it our own, change it up, and do our own spin on it. And "Firm Foundation," had this kind of like little swing beat, whatever. And I was like, what if we kind of smooth that out and rocked it up a little bit, and just kind of made that our own. I was like, and that chorus always goes down. What if we take that chorus, up? And I was like, that would be a lot of fun. And so, I mean, we were just doing it because we thought it would be fun, and we thought it was a great song, and it really speaks to a lot of things that I've gone through personally, and how Jesus is faithful, and how the storms of your life really just hit your house, but it stands on the firm foundation of Christ, and it just meant so much to me personally. So they told me it was like nominated for a Grammy. I was like, what are you talking about? Because we were just having fun. We weren't trying to do anything. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like when somebody gets married. When you finally stop looking, you that's when you find it. We weren't trying to do anything cool. It just kind of fell to us, and so that is a pretty interesting, cool thing that happened, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just had to congratulate you on that one. So
thank you, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I know we're getting probably close to time. Let you guys both get back to what you were doing prior to this, but I just wanted to give you both an opportunity just to share a little bit of what you're looking forward to at the end of this year and into next year, and your own and personal cues there.
Yeah. Next year, looking forward to a lot more live. This year was an incredible year for that. And just want to continue to build on that momentum, the incredible festivals that I got to visit, the churches, just so many really cool experiences being out live and in a place where, I love people. I love to meet people, interact with people, be around them. And, and so the live world is really like what I look forward to the most. And there will be a lot of that in 2025. So on my end, I think that's going to be the big push for next year.
Awesome. And you, Kevin?
I think we're going to do a tour with Decipher Down in the spring, a little small tour, do a lot of other shows, maybe do another tour with Seventh Day Slumber in the fall of next year, and probably write a new album while we're at it. I don't know. Sounds like a good idea.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I just want to thank you both again for taking the time to chat. I really enjoyed getting to hear about the collaboration and then get to see you both as you interact together too. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.